What's going on, family? Welcome back to Isrock's Movie Reviews. And today we're going to be discussing one of the best movies to come out of 2010. And it's called Remember Me from director Alan Coulter. And man, this movie is so memorable in so many ways. That's why I think the title fits, Remember Me. This movie was post Twilight and Robert Pattinson's great careers thus far. And I remember when I didn't see this movie back in 2010, but 2010 was a great year for me, I remember. 2010 made, almost 10 years that 9/11 happened here in New York. And 2010 also, marks the year that I met my wife. Such a phenomenal year, and I didn't, even know this movie came out until recently. I was looking through Robert Pattinson's credits, and we got to see, not only he's our Batman, but I wanted to see a lot of the films that I didn't get to see, because I know this man is just a star. And this movie, man, was overwhelmingly tragic, but also enjoyable. And if you want to see an enjoyable movie that's going to challenge your emotions, this is the movie to see. And it's going to leave you feeling very appropriately introspective. You're going to have some regret. It's a very unique and effective twist at the end. This movie's going to have you laughing. It's going to have you gasping, wincing and peeping, and relating to just the way life is in general. And before I even get into it, this movie had tons of themes. It had tons of quotes. And the one quote that really stuck out to me was, remember this, whatever you do in life will be insignificant, but it's very important that you do it anyways. And I live by that. That's one of my mantras, from one of my other great movies, The Crow. It can rain every day. And I take that in a very literal and unliteral way. You can have a bad day today, bad day tomorrow, and maybe, Sunday will be better, maybe Monday, maybe the next week. There's always something to look forward to, and this movie really puts a lot of things into perspective, especially if you're suffering through a relationship with a loved one, a father figure, a mother figure. Try to love them today, while they're here. Give them their roses while they can sniff it. Smoke that weed with them while they can inhale it. Because flowers don't mean nothing in the grave. Right? They're easily stolen. They get damp easily. They get broken. And they get wasted there in the cemetery. But what if you took some time out and you gave it to them now, today, while they're here? That's all we can take with us when we're gone. We can't take the clothing, we can't take the money, but we can take the memories with us to where we're going, right? To the next life. Now, with that being said, I walked away from this movie very impressed, very sad, and unprepared. This movie definitely left me speechless. One of the few movies that left me speechless recently. It's beautifully structured. To me, it's an engaging masterpiece. A lot of people might disagree, but to me, this was a masterpiece. This is one of Robert Pattinson's best work. And, this man, this movie really got me, It's going to be advertised. It was advertised as a, romantic drama that centers around two fairly new lovers. Tyler, whose parents have split in the wake of his brother's suicide, which is sad, and a woman named Emilie, who lives each day to the fullest since witnessing her mother's murder. And, it's directed by Alan Coulter. It stars Robert Pattinson, Emilie the Ravin, Caitlin Rund. You have Kevin McCarthy here, Moses Acevedo, Chris Cooper, who I'm a huge fan of. And this is one of the few movies that Meghan Markle starred in also. And boy, was this a tough movie to get through, especially towards the end. But this film definitely is Robert Pattinson's most profound film up to date. It's not taken to be a lightly experience. You know, it's you have to take this experience with not even a grain of salt. You just really have to take this in. It's a very heavy drama that is less about romance than it is about family loss amidst tragedy. And I haven't experienced that in my lifetime yet, but I came really close last year. It's also the first film to surprise me in a very long time. And the way it did, I had no idea how it would conclude until about 3 minutes from the ending, which really smacked me in my face, which absolutely blew me away. I stood there, no lie, for like 10 minutes on my couch, just, what the fuck did I just watch? Like, it leaves you like that. It leaves you completely speechless. You know, I went to see it, and I saw this in my house. I didn't get to see this in 2010. I didn't even know this movie existed until not that long ago. And, you know, when I saw it in his Wikipedia, I was like, okay, this is a movie that I'm gonna wait to see. You know, once he was announced that he was doing Batman a couple years ago, I put it on my list. And I expected it to be good because it was him. You know, I saw a lot of his previous work except for this film. And I was really hoping for his performance to stand out, which, Jesus Christ, he demonstrated something beyond the level of range exhibited in his interpretation of Stephanie Meyer's lackluster anti-hero, right? Edward Cullen in the Twilight series. But needless to say, we got a lot more than what we bargained for. Shockingly, not only did Pattinson easily eclipse, you get that? Eclipse both Pierce Brosnan's and Chris Cooper's performances as two fathers in the story, who are very essential to the story and the plot, which were both excellent in their own right. But he gave us something that we will remember for a very long time, if not forever. This is definitely the most powerful film I've seen in theaters. Well, that I see go to theaters and then eventually get to see it, you know, at home in peace. I kind of rather that experience because this movie in the theater would have had me crazy. Especially with, you know, that dynamic between father and son. I experienced it my whole life. Not in a very negative way, but I went through a lot with my father. So, you know, this movie really hit me in a different way. You know, to me, this was his most powerful film that I've seen. It reaches far beyond the limited emotional scope of a bigger film, you know. And I just reviewed a lot of emotional films recently, and this one is right up there with them. You know, what Remember Me accomplishes with to me, it's riveting and no holds barred storytelling. It's brilliant. I think final sequence of the film, and it's a feat rarely, if ever, attempted so tastefully. It connects us with so many aspects of our reality, our own world, and it really takes us to a place where we look at our own history that many of us try not to face. You know, it forces us to examine what certain significant events mean in the progression of our lives and the lives of our loved ones, our families and friends. And it examines us how we relate to one another in both the simplest, the most complex ways of our friendships and relationships. To me, it ties our daily lives together with the unexpected. And I'm gonna highlight that word, unexpected, which is something that is often unavoidable, whether we are prepared for it or not. And it provides us with some insight as to how to deal with our hardships in life. And it doesn't give us all the answers, you know, as no film or book or essay or story or any kind of anything could do for us. But it certainly inspires us to ask these tough questions. You know, I walked away from this experience and I started to, write down a lot of the things and take notes. And I just couldn't believe how multidimensional the acting in this movie was. It was fantastic, man. This movie was not just a feel-good movie. It was a platform to showcase Pierce Brosnan, Chris Cooper, Pattinson as their true selves, as kind of like eye candy, right? Because these are good-looking men in Hollywood that obviously get that attention because, they're so brooding. But it's also thought-provoking, which I feel is important, and it's very intense. The characters were brooding. They were wounded. At the same time, they were very lovable and believable. The movie's twist was, like I said earlier, was very unique and very effective. And if you want to see an enjoyable movie that's going to challenge your emotions and leave you feeling kind of nostalgic and at the same time very regrettable, like, damn, I could have did this better yesterday, or today I'm going to make this phone call. It takes you there. And, man, it's mostly a dramatic film, and it doesn't have humor. The romance between two people get overlooked a lot in a very positive way because this movie is so flooded with tragedy, and it's crazy how tragedy could bring two people together. And the tragedy in the name of the game is one thing, as you never really feel free of it, because with tragedy comes more tragedy. And it's very important to do certain things that you need to do in life, man. And this was one of those movies that after I saw it, actually I started writing about myself and my experiences in the last 6 months to the last year, really. And it's getting me prepared for a video I'm about to do later on this month that I'm gonna bring to you, and I'm gonna be speaking to you guys directly. So I look forward to that. But this movie, man, I gave it an 8 out of 10. You go into this movie thinking about stupidity and thinking about it's going to be predictable or it's going to be a very simple rom-com, and it fucks you up. It really surprises you, and it definitely takes a left, and I recommend this movie highly. Go check it out if you haven't. Remember me, 8 out of 10, easily. Don't forget, if you like this review, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. And if you want more content from me, all you got to do is subscribe. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.